We are talking today about one of people's biggest fears. And I mean, studies have reportedly found that many people rank public speaking among their greatest fears, or maybe when their live event doesn't go live promptly on time. Oh, here I am with you right here live. I'm feeling it too. But I want to jump into today's topic. Let's see if things will come together as we planned. Let's see. Ta-da! It is working. Excellent. I wanted to know if my slides, that was a major problem today. Major problem today. So we are just going to jump right in and talk about these major fears. I pulled this chart up from Croatia. I'm in Vienna right now, depending on where you're listening in from. And go ahead and say hi in the chats. Let me know you're here. You can see me. You can hear me. Where you're listening in from. I'm in Vienna. We're looking at a chart from Croatia, and this was about people's biggest fears. And look at it right at the top, public speaking. That is above disease. That is above death. That is above creepy, crawly spiders. I mean, I don't know if public speaking is your greatest fear. I mean, it's not mine. I do understand, and I have felt that like nervous, that drive, but not my biggest fear. What are some of your biggest fears? I'm actually curious. And go ahead and leave it in the chat, whether you're listening live or on the replay. If we haven't met before, hi, I'm Elizabeth. I'm here and I'm a speaking coach. I help people speak out with confidence so they can make better connections and open more opportunities in their life. This is so important, whether it's for job interviews, promotions, career, public, social, wherever you are, it helps to speak better and with more confidence. That's why you're here, right? The title caught your attention. Speak with confidence, for real. And so it may or may not be your biggest fear, but we're getting into it today. And I'm giving you real tools so that you can speak with confidence. And I just want to say, if you do feel like nervous and agitated, or if you do say, like, listen, straight up, public speaking is my biggest fear, congrats. Congrats. You're not alone. It's completely normal. I still get nervous and I speak a lot. The problem isn't the fear. It's really not. It's what most people do because of fear. Because of fear. And so I'm going to give you 4 things today for the next time you struggle. It's 4 things I use. It's 4 things I tell my clients to use. It's 4 things that top speakers use, giving it to you today. So let's jump right in. Number 1, we're going to flip the script. I love this picture. It's so summary. We're going to flip the script. And this is a mindset shift that almost no one talks about. But when I ask my clients on feedback sessions, like, what was most helpful for you? What stuck in your brain? This is the number 1 response, this flip the script technique. No, I don't mean actually flipping. Although if you can do that, that's awesome. High five for you. But it's flipping the script of our inner critic. So inside, before we start speaking, or even as we're preparing and thinking about it, people, if you're like me, you think of things like, oh, I hope they like me. I hope I don't mess up. I hope I don't embarrass myself. I hope I don't say the wrong thing. This is the wrong focus. Did you notice each of those sentences? I said, I hope and me. I hope I hope me. We're going to flip that script. It's not about me. It's never about me. Today is not about me. It's about you. It's about the audience. Because when you signed up for this, you signed up because you are hoping for something too. You're hoping, please be good. Please be valuable. Please be useful. Please help me. Hey, please don't waste my time. And I hear you. I mean, especially when we go to a conference, we sign up, we pay for a ticket to hear someone speak. The last thing we want is for them to screw up. So actually, your audience is not against you. They are rooting for you. They're hoping you'll do a great job. They're hoping you'll win because if you win, they win. See how that works? So it's about flipping the script from I hope I don't screw up to what do they need? What do they want? They're rooting for me. So when we look at each other, we're both hoping for the same thing. Now, I am just going to check through my channels here for a second. If you're listening live, do drop something in the chat so I can see your name, call you out, welcome you. Now I reached out to a few of you specifically on LinkedIn to see if you had specific questions or areas, and I got some responses. Thank you very much. And the biggest response was about thing number two. Thing number two, as I said, I'm going to give you 4 things today. And the biggest response I got was about thing number 2. So let's jump into that. There are my slides. Whew, got a lot of windows open today. And this is number 2. We're going to be talking about flow mode. Flow mode. So what am I talking about? I'm talking about what to do when your mind goes blank, when you forgot what you were going to say, when someone interrupts you, when you're disrupted, all of those difficult things. And this is pulled directly, actually, all of these are pulled directly from the infographic that I'm going to offer you as soon as we're finished here. And I don't know how well you can see this. If I can make this bigger in some way, give me 1 second here. Well, I made me bigger. Hi. So let's see if I can. There we go. Yoo-hoo! Learning by doing. Learning by doing. So this is about flow mode. This is about getting into a space where when you forgot what you were going to say, when someone interrupts you, when you lost your place, when you need a moment, whatever it is to help you get back in flow mode. Now, what do I mean about flow mode? Most people know the fight or flight situation, right? However, we've evolved as humans. We're beyond fight or flight. I've also noticed that it's a fight, flight, or freeze. And when we're in a public speaking situation, when we're in a meeting, and maybe it's not public speaking like you're giving a presentation, but maybe you're in a meeting and there's something happening and you know you should speak up. It's also about those moments. You feel it, but what to do? You don't have the words. You don't know how to start. It's about getting into flow mode because in 2026, fight, flight, freeze, these are like root responses can be helpful in very, very specific situations. But in general, in our day-to-day life, flow mode is the space we want to be. And it's about getting back to that. It's micro changes that are going to have a huge impact on helping you get back into that flow mode because these are the moments where most people panic. This is where we start thinking to ourselves like, just like the picture on my initial slide, like, oh my God, I forgot. They're looking at me. This is bad. What am I going to do? These are the moments I'm talking about. Whether you look like that on the outside or not, this is what we want to shift because you're thinking in those moments, you're thinking about thinking and it becomes like, how do I look? How do I sound? What do they think? Rah, rah, rah. And it's a spiral of thoughts that aren't helping you flow. So we want to get into flow mode. So how do we do that? I'm actually going to take that slide off for a second because I find it distracting and it's getting me away from my flow mode. So here I am. Hi. So I want to tell you the number one rule in this situation. When you feel the panic, when you feel the nervousness, when you feel the ire, whatever it is, coming up on you, remember rule number one: silence is not the emergency. Panic. Panic is the emergency, okay? So we do not want to panic. We want to lean into silence. To the outside viewer, they may look the same depending on what your body's doing, but we want to focus on silence. Be silent for a second, for 2 seconds, for up to 10 seconds. If a speaker is silent for 10 seconds, most audiences don't think it's a problem. They lean in. So it's not an emergency. In fact, most audience experience a several second pause as thoughtful, as helpful. But most speakers feel it as a failure, as years, right? So not 2 seconds, but 2 years. And so I want us to lean into that for a second. See what I did there? I took a sip of water. There was silence. Did it feel like panic? No, it's thoughtful. It's helpful. It gives you a moment to know I'm shifting to the next area. And this next area is the reset formula. So when you feel yourself in fight, flight, freeze, we want to do micro resets for that big impact. And this is from the slide. So I'll pull that slide up right now. And the ones I want to mention specifically, again, can I make that bigger? Yes. No, I can't. Okay. So the first thing we want to do, I want to say them in a little bit different order than what you see here, is pause. That is the first thing. Just pause. Breathe. You can repeat the last point, right? I think that's, I can't see my slide so well. Well, take a drink is in there. Breathe is in there. Science. Move is a really good one. Move. Just take a small step to another place on the stage. Shift in your seat. Move your hands. Get a small movement, especially if you're the type of person that gets caught in freeze mode. Even a micro movement. And let me move my hands up. Even a micro movement can help get you more into flow mode, because that's what we want. So move, silence, breathe. My favorite, take a drink. And the last one, for whatever reason, is out of focus for me. I don't like that. Another thing is, as I said, just repeat the last point or have a stock phrase that helps you regroup. So what I'm really saying is, and say the main point. If you can't remember the main point, don't use that phrase. But if you feel like you lost your way, you got confused, take a step, take a breath, move, and then use this phrase. Let's come back to the main idea. Or the most important thing to remember is, and state your main idea. In this case, the most important thing to remember is that silence is your friend, not your enemy. Panic is the enemy. So we want to lean into silence. Give yourself a moment to recalibrate, to come back to the present situation, clear your thinking, and speak with clarity. Because those tiny, tiny micro habits gives a moment for your brain to catch up. And in those moments, even if it's 10 seconds, nobody dies, nobody leaves, life continues. This is especially true in person-to-person situations. I know many people feel panic about online. People will scroll on by. They might. They might scroll if you're silent, but if your value is good and you're putting the most helpful things and you're helping them out, they'll stay. Most people will stay for a good session. I mean, check your own phone. How many hours are you staying and watching things online? That's data. That's data. So we've talked about the first two things. Now I want to jump into thing number three. Moving along here. And thing number three is presence, specifically leadership presence. So this is my pro tip for you. Less is more. Because most people don't lose confidence because they know too little, they don't have enough credentials, they're not experienced, they don't have enough degrees. Most people lose confidence because they try to say too much, because they try to be impressive, because they think about how they look, what people think, things that are not the focus. We talked about that in point number one. Let me So, that lovely presence person, I want to kind of have a heart to heart with you here. When we're nervous, when we feel we're in a situation that's not confident, we're not confident, we tend to over explain. Go ahead and drop it in the chats if I'm calling out your favorite vice. We over explain. I know I do that. Like, and I hear myself doing it. I'm like, stop. We over explain. We add filler words like, you know what I mean? Things like that. If it's really good, I like kind of do this at work. Filler words. We stack examples. This happens especially when we want to convince someone or persuade someone. We say, in this case, in this case, in this case, let me give you another feature of this product. Psh, 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 psh. And it's overwhelming. It's overwhelming. We repeat ourselves when we're getting lost and tangled. Why? Because talking feels productive. It feels like what we're supposed to be doing. One second. I just noticed an issue. I got alerted of an issue on LinkedIn. LinkedIn, are you having an issue? Oh dear. I certainly hope not. So we'll be looking into that in the back end while I continue talking on the front end. What is happening? No, we are good. We are live. Super. So talking feels productive. And so we think this is the right thing to do. It's better than doing nothing, right? However, however, confidence interruptions. Oh, so I want to repeat that. Talking feels productive, but confidence sounds different. Confidence trusts the point is enough. When you're confident, you're not nervous, you're not floundering, you're not filling the words, you're not panicking. Confidence knows that everything will be okay. Confidence is not triple checking and hoping for permission to speak. And, you say, "Oh, yeah, that sounds nice. Yeah, it's nice to be you. I wish I could do that." The thing is, all of us, every single one of us, have situations where we feel confident, where we know we are in complete control. Even maybe it's only when you're out with your besties or in your shower or wherever it is. You know that feeling. We all have something we're good at. We get into flow mode and everything goes well. We're not questioning ourselves. We're not nervous or panicking. That is the feeling of leadership presence. That is the feeling of you being you in your best mode, in your best self, in your best presence. And on stage, in meetings, everywhere, your presence is your message. People, human brains start deciding whether or not to listen to you, whether or not to take you seriously, which category to put your information that you give them in before you even start speaking. Not because people are mean or rude, but because we're humans. We are bombarded with information all day, every day, and we decide quickly. So walk in, walk calm. Own your entrance, whether it's into a meeting, into a conference, wherever it is, set the tone. Think about your body language. Here, we often talk about having an open presence. Open palms, open hands, having your hands in the zone, the power zone. So, not up here in panic, the world is ending zone, not down here in tiny, I don't know what to do zone. Oh, look at that. My camera did not like that at all. Say, bzz, bzz, bzz. I'm blurring you out so people don't see you do that. So, open. Have an open body presence so people know you're open to share, to speak, to listen, to exchange. Have an open chest, open palms, and eye contact. This is huge. Even in digital meetings, we've all been in the Zoom meetings where people are looking at themselves the whole time, or looking at their notes, or looking at who knows what, maybe their cat. So, eye contact is important in person and on digital meetings. So, what I want you to remember, what is very important to me that you remember, is weak speakers add. Weak speakers, when you feel that tendency to add more details, more examples, more filler words, more nervous or distracting movements with your hands, calm it right down. Try these micro habits to get yourself back into flow mode. And I do mean back into flow mode. You know that feeling, you know it. And strong speakers, they don't add, they edit. They edit, they curate, they decide what comes front. And basically, the main simple way to put this is that leadership presence is a practice, not a personality trait. I can do it, you can do it, we can all do it. So if you remember nothing else today, please, 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 this is the main message here. Confidence is not the absence of nerves. Confidence, let me try that again. Confidence isn't the absence of nerves. Confidence is knowing what to do when the nerves arrive. And practice is the only way to manage this, to get this pathway. It's the only pathway to success. Think about it. Let me get back to my slides here. I have some more slides. We're going to give you just an overview here. We have 2 minutes left. Oh, practice. I forgot we have thing number 4. And this one is actually the most important thing. Practice. Practice. When you think about it, musicians, actors, professional speakers, even doctors practice, right? They practice and practice and practice. Why should why should you be different? So let's put in those reps together. Let's get that practice together. If you would like to practice this in real time, get feedback that supports you, and grow your leadership presence, join us in the Irresistible community. Irresistible Academy. I'm going to give you the link right now. See, when I get distracted by links, it's better to be quiet and calm down and get the links there. So I'm going to give you a link for this right now so that you can join us. We are going to have a practice session starting in 2 minutes. You can already log in. You can join us there. That is the link to join us, because confidence doesn't come from listening. Confidence doesn't come from watching YouTube videos. It doesn't even come from learning. It comes from speaking. It comes from practice. It comes from putting in the reps. And how much better to have someone with you helping you along the way. So I definitely want to open that room and get you in there. But first, and this is free coaching. All you have to do is show up with me. I want to give you a review of the 4 things that you will do the next time you feel the nerves and the crazy coming. 1, flip the script. Remember, what is the audience looking for? They are rooting for you. Number 2, flow mode. The 4 things, the tiny micro habits you can do to get back into flow mode. 3 is about presence, being open and owning your entrance, owning your presence. So that energy tells people you are the person to listen to. And 4 is practice. That is me opening the room within our Irresistible Academy as soon as this session is over. So this is the Speak with Confidence for real. There is a PDF. Just send me a DM, ask me for it, or come to the Irresistible Academy. I'll have it for you there. Absolutely. And next week, I'm doing sessions every week in the month of June. Next week is a hot one, persuasion power. Persuasion power, why people say yes. Pro tip, it isn't logic. It isn't logic. The psychology of why people say yes and persuasion tools that are not icky. It's not about manipulation. It's not about being gross. It's about being authentically you with leadership presence. So these are the 4 infographics we have for the month of June. We've already talked about, you can find them on whichever channel you're on. I'm sharing this in LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook. 5 hooks that make people stop and listen. The self-story framework. Oh, sorry. No, it was tell me a story. It was the stick story framework. I have both within the academy. And today was all about speaking with confidence. And next week is the 10 persuasion triggers. So the things that you can do to work with the psychology of the human brain and get people to say yes. So again, speak with confidence. My name is Elizabeth. Thank you so much for being here today. Join me in the school Irresistible Academy. We are going live right now, interactive room to practice in real time. Awesome. See you there. Ciao.